Ooh, okay, this one, this one's gonna rock the boat. It's gonna rock the boat slightly. And Germans, and I think also like Swiss, Austrian people, they take very, very seriously. Like, that is a thing. Ew. This is unsanitary. This is disgusting. I don't know long term how we're gonna feel about that. Hi everyone, welcome back. It's Zoie-Marie here, and today we're diving into something super exciting, German culture shocks. But before we jump into this video with a very, very special guest, let me introduce today's sponsor, Lingopie. What if I told you guys there's a way to turn those what did they just say moments into, yeah, I got it. So we're talking about learning German. It can be fun, immersive, and as easy as watching your favorite TV show. So here's the thing, learning a language can be overwhelming. I know this 100%, especially when you're dealing with those tricky cultural nuances. But with Lingopie, I've discovered a whole new way to make it not just manageable, but seriously enjoyable. You're not just learning words and grammar, you're diving into the culture, the humor, and the quirks of the language. Like your favorite binge watching session, but with benefits. One of the coolest features, these interactive subtitles. Just tap on a word and you've got the translation. Plus it's added to your flashcards for later. And when it comes to speaking, the Say It feature gives you instant feedback on your pronunciation, so you can confidently say those tricky German phrases without second-guessing yourself. And the best part, Lingopie fits right into my life. Whether I'm sipping coffee in the morning or chilling on a train ride, I'm learning without even realizing it. It's like having a language tutor with you wherever you go, but of course, way more fun. So if you're ready to make language learning a part of your everyday life, you've got to try Lingopie. I've got an exclusive link just for you guys, so check it out below in my description box. Keep me updated on your learning journey in the comments below, and thank you so much to Lingopie for sponsoring this part of the video. Hi everyone, so we're back. It's a wardrobe change and we do have a special guest, my fiance Sven, which you guys should already be comfortable with. You should know him by now. He's always on the vlogs, kind of these days, but he's been around, like you guys know Sven. So today we're gonna be doing German culture shocks, and I've done a few videos exactly like this before. I think this is like version 3 or version 4. It will be in the title above what version this is, but I actually love doing these, and I have been kind of like collecting some nuanced culture shocks that I've been experiencing since moving to Berlin and then also traveling back to South Germany, and I basically put everything down in my notes and we're gonna be talking about it today. So Sven is here to kind of just give that German perspective on those culture shocks, which I think is like a different vibe to my other videos. And as well, he does not know what I'm about to say, and then he's gonna react, he's gonna, you know, give some insights, and we can kind of just have like a good time. Before we jump in, make sure you subscribe, like, follow me on all my social platforms, and we can start.
Follow her.
Okay, so let me get my phone.
Follow this girl. She's great. Like in your little intro, you know, you can put that in.
All right, keep your eyes. Okay, so I feel like you do know some of these because I literally stopped you and was like, what is that? Why is that there? Da, 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 da. So the first one is going to be something called Automat for Meat. And let me just give like a backstory on that. We were in south of Germany for a wedding, and he lives in farmlands. He's from the farm. He is a farm boy. So yeah, he's a farm boy and he comes from the farm. Yeah, the farmlands, the countryside. And so I don't remember seeing this when I lived in southern Germany, but going back this time, we literally were driving into his town, and you know, like where you can go and like buy a Pepsi or buy a Coke, put in like a quarter and you get like a candy bar or something, or a Coke or whatever.
Vending machines.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I was explaining. A vending machine, right? They have that for meat in Germany. So you know, in Germany things are closed on Sundays and things don't stay open that long. So they literally put vending machines for meat. Mind you, this is a village. Vending machines for meat just randomly placed in the village, in your town. So imagine this was America and you found a vending machine full of like steaks. Like that is just insane to me to like think about. And so that was a huge culture shock for me and something new, and I did not think Germany can still shock me like 8 years later, but that for sure was A culture shock.
I can see that, and I was about to say because of everything is closed on Sundays, but I would say for Germany, this is quite progressive. Because even things are closed, even things are closed on Sundays, you'll get everything. And
well, you get meat.
You get meat, but
what about the vegetarians, the vegans?
To be honest, I think that also this trend started with like COVID. You know what the funny part is? I actually saw this vending machine a few days back, not only with meat, but also with beer. From a brewery who do their own beer.
Well, that's actually
they had a vending machine with their beer in front of the brewery.
That's
so you
cool.
can always get a beer. So it's basically like the two German things. Pork and beer.
I feel bad for the vegans, vegetarians. Alright, so the next one. This one we're probably gonna start like maybe a little argument. But for me, coming from New York, coming from America, a new culture shock that has surfaced is these wellness hotels. And Germans, and I think also like Swiss, Austrian people, they take wellness hotels very, very seriously. Like that is a thing. That's how you go on holiday. Like, you know, in America, you want to go to Mexico, you want to go to Cancun, you want to go, I don't know, like just tropical places and do like tropical beachy things. For them here, the main thing, like the hip thing, is to go to these wellness hotels and like sit all day in a sauna or in a pool. And the real thing that really shocks me, like this is just me personally, and we can open this up for discussion in the comments, but I don't understand the concept in general of wellness hotel, because most hotels have like the same amenities, like a pool, a sauna, a massage. Why are we stressing wellness, and why are we making it such a big deal when you can literally get that at any other hotel? And before you jump in with your insights, like that was just my little tidbit on like I don't really get the concept of wellness hotel, but also it's just shocking that like going to a wellness hotel, that is their form of vacation. It's not like to go sit by the beach. It's not to go to, you know, like Spain. It's just to go to a wellness hotel in the mountains. And it's just like, okay.
When you compare a wellness hotel to normal hotels and their spa areas, that means you've never been to a wellness hotel, because there's a huge difference between, oh, there's a hotel with a spa area and there's a wellness hotel. So that's a huge difference, but I think it's our little getaway, especially in winter. You go into the mountains, you have the snow, maybe you see the snow from the warm sauna, like you have the warmth inside, cold outside, it's a beautiful view.
Is it because there's no ocean by Germany and it's just like the easiest thing that people can like get to?
It's, yeah, the mountains, and I think if you would talk to people up here in the north, it's not a thing for them. It's more the people in the south, because they're the mountains so close, and that's their little getaway. Like you go to Mexico with a 2-hour flight, they take a 2-hour drive and go to the mountains.
So yeah, I have my thoughts on wellness hotels still. That explanation, it makes sense logically, but I don't know, they also charge a lot of money for the wellness hotels, and that's also like the trade-off that I don't really understand. And yeah,
it's like your beach is so close, we have nowhere to go. We have nowhere to go.
Okay, so the next one. This one's gonna rock the boat. It's gonna rock the boat slightly. I want to give a disclaimer. These are just things that I've noticed, and it's nothing offensive. It's just differences, okay? It's just differences that I've seen. Okay, so what I have noticed, and it is a culture shock for me, especially now because we are engaged. He is my fiancé, and yeah, we're getting married pretty soon. But what I noticed in the very beginning of this engagement journey is the differences between American engagement rings versus German engagement rings. And this is not to be crazy. This is just something that I've seen. But yeah, the difference and the culture shock that I've noticed is that with Americans specifically, weddings are a big deal. Rings are a huge deal. The women in America, their rings are just massive rocks on top of these women's fingers. I remember growing up, and like all of my teachers in high school, all the women that I basically knew had these massive, gigantuan, like diamond rings, and it was just always like sparkling in the eye. And then moving here to Germany, I noticed either they're just wearing their band, like there is no engagement ring, or if it is an engagement ring, it's just a really small rock compared to, you know, how they do it in America. And I don't know the reasons why. Maybe it's because it's just not a thing. But yeah, that's my observation. It was a shock for me because I was like, why is there even no two, like not two rings? Why is it just a band? Why is it so small? But what do you think about that?
I don't know a lot to say to that, but maybe let me think about it.
Is it because it's just like weddings are not taken as seriously? Like weddings, not marriage, but weddings specifically.
I think it depends, but that is a big thing. You know, America is like higher, bigger, faster. Everyone wants to be better than the other person. That's how we see America. Everyone's trying to show off, impress. And maybe that's why in America you come in with those big rocks. And here in Germany, people just don't care too much about these things. They're more like...
And so why is it that some women, there is no engagement ring? They just wear the wedding band, like there's no ring.
That's no idea. I don't get either. Like, I like the thought of having an engagement ring.
Yeah.
I like it. It looks pretty. It looks prettier than the wedding band for a woman. So I think a lot of people are just not as romantic. They're just like, oh, let's get married. And then they get married. And then that's about it. There's no real... proposal. Like even proposal is not a big thing.
Yeah, that's like a caveat to this topic. Germany, they don't really take proposing very seriously. Like that was also a shock that I found out. And also on the same topic, like they wear their rings on, what is it, the right hand side instead of the left, which is also a different thing. I'm just happy that I basically said like, okay, I really want the American style of things, like ring style. I also want a proposal. Like we kind of figured that out from the very beginning of our relationship, so that when the time did come, I kind of got, you know, what I've always dreamt of. But it was a culture shock for me, ladies. Like if you come abroad to Germany, be aware, like make sure that you engage with your partner, let them know your standards, see what their standards are too, you know, see what they like. Maybe they don't even like those flashy things, but you do. I don't know, but just make sure you talk about it because it was a culture shock for me. And I guess like we still don't really have answers as to why the rings are so small, but...
I can say when I went to the ring shop for the engagement ring, you don't even see that big rocks there. Most, like they show you, you look through a book, you look through their...
They're demure rings, very demure, very, very cutesy. But I like that. But they're marketing for the market.
They know the German market, so... They know they don't even need to show the big rocks. No one's gonna spend the money here. Like no one's gonna spend 10, 15, 20k for a ring.
Yeah, that's right. People will not spend 20k on a ring. But I'll also say this, and this is the last thing for this topic. Those big rings, I have watched some videos about it for the States. Now, while they're massive, not all of them are worth 20k. Some of them, the diamonds are like scattered across the whole diamond itself, and it's in a very, very cheap ring. It's just big. And so that's just what you were saying, like Americans do just like things bigger, even if it's not worth a lot. It's just the aesthetics around America. So while the rings here are a little bit smaller, they're full diamonds. The next one, oh my god, okay, I forgot what I even wrote. So the next culture shock is how to work a German oven. What is wrong? This one is going to be a critical thing towards Germany because what is wrong with you, Germany? Why are there so many buttons, so many like settings that you can do for an oven? Why can't you just turn it on, put the temperature on, and that's it? In Germany, you have like the 2 lines, you have the dotted lines, you have this lines, you have overheating, underheating, side heating. Like it's just unnecessary. And I'll be frank, I just use like this one setting. I'll put it over your face for everything. And also if you move to Germany, just use this one setting. Literally, it's not that difficult, it's not that deep, just use that. But why is that? Like, why do Germans have to make things so complicated? It's just an oven.
I get confused myself because in the recipes it always just says the temperature and I don't know which setting.
Yeah, it's like 8 settings as well.
Yeah, and the temperature differs from each setting. So I'm like, what should I do now? I don't know the reason, but spontaneously, maybe I would say Germans love baking bread. And you need your special setting for bread.
8 settings?
I don't get it either.
Yeah, we'll just leave that one as a question mark. The German can't even answer that one. Okay, so this is gonna be our second to last culture shock. So this one I feel like is also kind of like a reverse culture shock. It's also really a positive one. What I noticed in Germany, dogs are actually allowed in restaurants. And this is something that we don't like to do in America. I don't think I've ever seen a dog in a restaurant in America. And when you do see a dog, everyone is looking at you like this is unsanitary. Why is that dog in this restaurant? And I'll be very honest, like, you know, I didn't own a dog before when I lived in America, in New York, but when I did see dogs in a restaurant anywhere, I would also be disgusted. I would be like, that's unsanitary. Like, they're coughing, farting, doing all of these things that dogs do where people are trying to eat. And I was like, that's gross, you know? Living in Berlin, and we also have a little Maltipoo. I'll insert his cute little face and body here. But we have a Maltipoo, and it's actually been really nice to take him to restaurants just so that we don't have to leave him at home. And then people are always so friendly when dogs come into a restaurant. Like, it's allowed. It is, we've never really had much pushback, only at, you know, supermarket obviously, or some post offices, but restaurants and cafes and bookstores, you can basically take your dog everywhere. And for a dog owner, that is very, very cool.
It's really inclusive for dogs, and I've never encountered a restaurant where a dog was there and he was not well behaved. Like, I never had a dog come up to my table, try to eat from my plate. So
I feel like that might be why this is possible in Germany, because most dogs are like much, I think in general that is another one, dogs are trained way better here than they are in America. Like, okay, so we're at the last culture shock, and I think this one, like everything so far, has kind of been more newish because I've also just encountered it. I've never said these before, some of them I've never heard before, but this one I think a lot of people have heard before. And one of the biggest culture shocks for me is this one: the taxes. Yeah, the taxes, the taxes, the taxes, the taxes. You're taxed for everything. It's high, high, high taxes. The salary that you really make, you don't get to see that. I think it's like at 49.97%. I remember checking my salary. 49.97% goes to taxes, and that includes just a bunch of other things.
And this 50%, almost 50%, it's crazy. I mean, there's a lot in there. There's the normal taxes, there's the social security. In case you get unemployed, then you still get paid. But at the end of the day, I think it's still one of the highest, or if not the highest amount.
I think I spoke about the church tax in another video, but some people also have that all encompassing in that 50% tax. I have been gathering these like over the past maybe 4 or 5 months. Just some new things have been popping up. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it was fun to have Sven here with us, a real German, to kind of like give some insights into some of these American culture shocks. Make sure you hit that like button, that subscribe button. Hope you guys are staying healthy and safe. Thank you so much for watching.